Hi everyone, I hope you're doing good. My name is Vikas. I have around 15 years of experience working in IT and tech domain. In today's video, this is a live video I'm doing. I'm going to look into how to build a free cloud server from scratch. And the primary motivation is some of the times we want to do a lot of experimentation. We want to install some software. We want to learn some new technology or things, and we may not always have local machine computers available. So either you create a virtual machine or a container, which again is subjected to the compute that you have available on your machine. So I thought maybe let's use, GCP's free tier for scaling up or at least creating a minimal machine, which we can use for testing or some experimentation. And if we find it useful, we can also pay for it if required going further. So what I've already done is I'm already logged into Google account, and I've also opened cloud.google.com/free. One second. Also, now if you see here, it says there are three ways to start free. One is that you'll get $300 in credit for new customers, but that is available for initial 90 days, I believe. And then there are few 50, 20 plus products with free tier available for us. So if you see, we have compute engine, cloud storage, BigQuery, Cloud Run, etc. available. In our case, we will just use E2 micro instance. So they give one E2 micro instance per month. Let's see if we would be able to use it. If I click on this to get more information about the compute engine, which we want to create in this video, so you can see that it says one E2 micro VM instance per month in one of the following US regions. So this would be important for us whenever we select the region while creating the instance. We'll have to use either West one, Central one, US or East one. So let's go back to the Google Cloud. So I'm opening, let me open it from scratch, console.cloud.google.com. And the first thing I would like to do is under my, so if you notice, you would see an organization with your name already there. If you don't have it, you can create one. In my case, I already have selected the organization called Vikas-Chowata-org. I'm now going to click on new project, and I'm going to say, I mean, like we could call it VCTechTalk 2. I created one earlier just to test the configurations. I'm going to use the default billing account, organization, etc. I'll keep all of these, excuse me, default. So now it says, okay, welcome, your free trial ends 3 months from now, which is fine. It is asking us to activate the full account, which we don't want to do now. One second. And it says you are working on this project, which is fine. I'm going to use this project now. So I selected VC Tech Talk 2 from the projects. Now it says you're now working from this project. So project is important because in each project you can create multiple computes, your configurations which will be isolated from a different or other project. The way we are going to look into this is I would assume that I don't know anything about Google Cloud, and we will work on it together to see how we can troubleshoot, research, and get a VM up and running. So now we have switched to our project. We will click on navigation menu on the left side, and we will click on compute engine, I've already favorited, I've already clicked on it and made it favorite earlier, but you could also go to all products category and search compute engine under the compute uh, group. So now I'm going to click on compute engine. And if you see here, it says on the left side, virtual machines, instance templates, solo tenant nodes, etc. I'm going to click on VM instance because we are trying to create a new VM, and I'm going to click on compute engine API. We want to enable this API in this project because this will allow us to run and create virtual machine on Google Cloud Platform. So before we can start or enable any one of the services within the project, we have to enable the API of that particular product. Let's wait for it to complete. It's taking some time. Let me reload it 1 second. Okay, so now it's already enabled. Probably there was some issue where it wasn't showing the correct status. I will go to the compute engine again. See, again, it says, and we can see the warning at the top of the screen. It's already saying that credit will expire in 90 days. That's fine. Now we will try to create an E2 micro VM instance and try to log in. So let's click on create instance and we want to call it VC, I don't know, VM01. We want to keep it in US Central 1 because that's one of the regions defined here for free tier. So we will just select that. Zone, we will just keep any, we don't care. We will minimize this prompt. This is an AI assistant. Now for general, in terms of the compute, under the general purpose, we will select E2 because that's the group of instances or computes that gives us our type of machine that we want to select. By default, it says E2 medium. We want E2 micro. So we get two vCPUs, one core and 1 GB memory, which is fine from a free tier perspective because we're just testing the water. Provisioning model, there are two options, standard and spot. In standards, VM runs for any duration we set. This is idle for most of the workloads. In case of spot, VM runs until preempted. Uh, yeah, this is again, if there is some issue, Google will probably kill our VM. Again, we'll just select the spot, we don't care because this is just for testing. Preemption notice duration, we'll just select 0. Set a time limit for VM. This is fine because we want to select just run it for a particular period of time. So let's just run it for next 3 hours. And on VM termination, we want to just maybe delete it. We don't want to keep it for the timing, but you could also keep a select option stop because if you want to, let's say you install something, you want to continue working on it next time onwards, you just select the stop option on termination because you want to keep working on that once you start it back up. Host error timeout, we'll just keep the default. Now OS and storage. In terms of the OS and storage, I would like to select Ubuntu. and we will select 2604 LTS minimal, which is fine. Boot disk type will keep the default balanced persistent disk. Size 10 GB is fine. Under the advanced configurations, deletion rule will delete the boot disk on deletion. Encryption will keep the default values for the time being. Custom image snapshots, etc. We'll just keep the default values. Yeah, let's just keep all of these same. Now there is an issue. Let's go to the issue. It says select an image or snapshot to create a boot disk. No, we don't want to create custom image. We just want to select the public image. So we'll just go to public image and select this. Let's click on data protection now. Again, this is a test instance, so we don't want any backup. We don't want any replications. In terms of networking, we can allow HTTPS or HTTP traffic just to test later on. Hostname also we can keep default. IP forwarding will just disable it. One network interface NIC0 is fine. Will not add any additional network interfaces. Observability will just keep it disabled. Security, we keep the default access by default. Yeah, we'll just keep these selected as default. By default, when you connect to VM using the console or G-Cloud, your SSH keys are generated automatically. Sure, we don't want to do that. Change that, by the way. Under the advanced also, we'll keep the default settings. Don't use reservation is fine. Metadata, etc. We don't want to add any tags, etc. But probably that's what you can do here, right? Manage tag and labels. You can create labels, tags for your computes. Now there is an interesting thing. If you click on equivalent code here, so whatever we have selected on the left side is E2 micro in US Central 1 spot type of instance, OS, etc. It gives you an equivalent code. So you could use command line utility like gcloud or REST call directly to the Google Compute APIs to create this configuration. Or if you are using Terraform or some other supported IAC tool, I think OpenTofu also supports TF files. So we could use that as well. In our case, we don't want to use that. So our configuration says monthly estimates $4.67 cents. So we'll just select it and click on create. So now it's going to create the instance for us. And now under the VM instances, VM01 is getting created. And let me minimize the left side. It's going to take few seconds to come up and we will wait for it to come up. Let me drink some water. Okay, let's refresh just to see if it is up. Yes, so instance is now running in US Central 1F. There are no recommendation and it's anything. So if I click on it, it'll give us, okay, there is a warning. It says spot VMs may terminate at any time, which is fine. So now let's try to connect to it. Just, that's how we test things, right? So if I click on SSH and use another SSH client, so now it says connecting to Linux VMs. This is the documentation. So it says, okay, this describes how to connect to Linux virtual machines from third-party tools. Before you begin, if you haven't already set up authentication, authentication verifies your identity. So let's click on it, see what they're asking for. So Google Cloud CLI, client binaries, etc. REST. So how do we set up the uh, authentication for compute engine? Let's see. So there are two options. One is for local development environment, and the second is for Google Cloud. We are trying to connect from the local development environment. So we will first set up application default credentials. So it says install the Google Cloud CLI. So let's click on it. We will try to install it. I haven't installed it for the time being. So it says start by creating Google account. We already have that. In the Cloud Console on the project selector, please select or create the Google Cloud project. We have already done that. We are on Mac OS. So uh, we need Python 3.10 to 3.14. Let's see which Python we have here. So we have 3.11.4. So we are already within the range. Now it says download one of the following. So we will try ARM64, because if I do uname-m, we are using ARM64 processor. So we'll just click on this. Alternatively, we can do that as okay, fine. So now it got installed. Let me move it from the download folder. What is the name? Google Cloud CLI to my current folder. So it got installed. Let's extract it. So Google Cloud SDK is now getting extracted. And now it says that we have to install it using the install.sh command. So we'll do Google Cloud SDK install.sh. So it says, welcome. That's fine. Do you want to help improve Google Cloud CLI? I would select no, because they will otherwise start tracking my info local data, which I don't want. And now it says what are the components it's going to install, which are not installed. To install or remove a component, you can use this section. Modify the profile to update your yeah, sure, I want to do that. And it says the current version, the latest version is fine. So I'll just allow it to add the binaries to the path. And this is my default ZSHRC file, which adds all these Google Cloud things to my CLI. So next time, whenever I start my terminal, these would be available by default. So it's now asking for the password. Now I'm thinking, should I allow it to install under default? Let me do one thing. Let's search one thing. Install GCP CLI under user directory, not root, for Mac. Because right now, if you notice, it's going under library developers. I'm not too comfortable with it. Uh, Let me ask this to Gemini. This is going under, want it under users. Sorry about that. Let me paste the error here. And while it's doing that, let me check if my live is actually working. Yeah, it's not helpful. Hmm. Cloud SDK Python. Yeah, it's not what I wanted. Uh, let's see if I don't enter it. Okay, so it says failed to install the required Python. Perfect. So I think if I type which Python 3 and if I set, and that's what I think it was mentioning, Cloud SDK Python. Let's do this first. Now run it. We don't want to help improve it. Thank you. Do you want to continue? Sure. Yes. Okay, now perfect. So now it says you may be prompted again. Let's see. I still get this error. How do you fix it? Funny. Uh, okay. Okay. Let's just allow it to install Python. I don't like multiple versions of Python on my laptop. I don't like it. But let's go ahead with it. No problem. I will try to change it later on. Because if you see, I already have Python 3 installed and Python is not because I think Symlink is not created and it is under framework Python framework versions. And if I do ls-l here, now if you see, it just installed 3.14. So it automatically upgraded it, which is fine, but I didn't want it to upgrade it for me. But anyways, so now it's installed. Let's initialize it. I will have to exit and open again. Let me open it. And if I type with GC Cloud, sorry, which GC Cloud. Oh, is it G Cloud? Sorry. So it's already installed. Now let's go to SCMGCP. So it's now installed here. I'll remove the zip and now we try G Cloud in it. That's what they said. You must sign in to continue. Would you like to sign in? Yes. Allow. So now I will use the same account that I was using earlier. I'll click on continue. So now it says this allow Google Cloud SDK to view and manage your applications, see edit configurations, view and sign into your Google Cloud SQL instance, view and manage your Google Compute. So wherever you're logging in from, you want to make sure that that machine is secure. So now it says you're authenticated. Now it says pick an account. I'm going to use second one because that's the one we created. Default region and zone, no. We'll just keep the default one as it is for the time being. So now we have set up the G Cloud on laptop. Okay, so now go back and use the SSH client to connect. We have already created the authentication. So now it says we want to connect using Putty app, right? So add an SSH key to the VM if you haven't already. So now, or maybe you know what, let's try to just connect from uh, Google Cloud, G Cloud for the time being because we have already logged in. So activate Cloud Shell on this page and we'll just use this command, right? So Google Compute, G Cloud Compute project ID is already VCTechTalk 2. Zone is, what's the zone? Let's go back. Zone is US Central 1F and VM name is VM01. Okay, it's creating for the first time. That's fine. We'll just connect. So it's now creating. Oh, it created a special queue for me, which is interesting. I didn't know that. So if I go to my user account and you see, it created a new key for me called Google Compute Engine. These are my old keys, by the way, that I use for some other purposes, like connecting to local machines, etc. But it created a new public private key for me, which is fine. Let's see what's inside the known hosts. Okay, maybe I'm sharing too much. Okay, now we are connected under VM01. Oh, this is cool. We are inside the VM now. If we do df-kh, we should have 10 GB. We got around 8 GB and that got split around. That's fine. Free-m. We have got 1 GB of RAM and top. Oh, nice. So we finally got into the VM using G Cloud utility. We are able to log in. We can create a folder. Let's see what's the what's inside the current folder. And if we do mkdir apps, let me type sudo bash. Okay, now we are the root and now we do apps. So now apps folder is created. Shoot. And let's create some file. I don't know. Sample.json. The reason why I'm saying is I want to connect using the UI and see if we can see this. Open in browser window. Let's see. So we can also connect through browser. See, transferring SSH key to the VM and it's connecting from the browser. So that's another way to connect, by the way. We can connect from gcloud, from SSH, from browser, etc. So now we are connected from browser. If I go to apps, see sample.json was created. So now what we have done, and this is something I did earlier, we have created a Google account and project. Account was already created. I already had added my card information before starting the video, so you might have to do that if you're trying from scratch. We have understood that there are 90 days billing, which is free period, but then there is a free tier as well. There are limitations in terms of the type of account, sorry, machine you can create, E2 micro. What is actually free? There are services which are free, but I would just stick to E2 micro for the timing. Later on, we'll see if there is a Kubernetes services as well we can enable. So we've created the VM, we have SSH into it. Now these things we'll probably do in the next video. How do we harden it? How do we install the SSH and deploy something useful and expose it to the internet? Backups and security, we disabled it in this video from the scratch, but the idea was to allow us to install something or at least create something which we could use to test out things. Now the only one thing we'll see if we can connect to google.com. Okay, so how do we connect now this machine to use google.com? Let's see. Or we just say curl. Let me try to curl it. Okay, so we got moved. Oh, perfect. Let me exit the U from the browser. I don't want to use it. Google curl tester. So we will see if we can get some curl API to test. API endpoint, because we want to connect to some API using the curl. So we'll use, okay, googleapis.com is what we can use. So let's just test the connectivity. Oh shoot, 1 second. We'll just use like this. Okay, what does it say? Code was not found, but it is responding back, which is fine. I mean, that's what we want to test, right? We can try to find some other. We don't have it, so don't. I was just looking for some API endpoint that we can use for confirming it, but you can see that we are getting four not found instead of if it was sorry, some wrong endpoint, we would get could not resolve those kind of errors. So at least connectivity is there. It's Linux OS x86 64. That's what we selected. And if you see, this is Ubuntu GCP, running on GCP. And now we have a machine to do the testing, play around with things. And if you see the uptime also, just to confirm, it started like 14 minutes up, 20 minutes up. There is only one user logged in, so that's me. Okay, I think that was interesting. We now have a E2 micro instance in Google Cloud in US Central 1F, and we can connect to it using browser window on a custom port. We didn't try that. You via gcloud command and using another SSH client. This is interesting. Now, in terms of the other free services that are available, we can look into that as well. Google Cloud free tier E2 micro. So virtual machines, or maybe we'll just do the free tier. So we already tried compute. Cloud storage, we can use that 5 GB per month standard storage. BigQuery, Cloud Run, we don't want to run any stateless containers, right? But that's also we can do. I don't see a lot of use cases for these things, specifically when you're trying to do something which is for your own testing locally. Google Kubernetes Engine, GKE, we can use that, but I don't think we would ever use it. If we want to use it, we could probably just run a Docker image inside the VM1. So there are a lot of things available in the free tier, but really depends on the use cases. And if I personally think that if we have to use all of these other features, we might actually have to start paying them, because then the use case might not be as simple as just using something for testing. But if you want to learn something, definitely these things would be useful. The reason why I was making this live was to help us understand myself as well, how we can use free tiers to do quick POCs and test things out. And the AI is getting better these days with a lot of things, so our personal compute might not always be enough for these things. And if you're paying for frontier models through Anthropic or OpenAI, the the cost and the token limits are getting expensive by each month. So if you want to explore running open source models on our local machine or under these cloud machines, I think we at least need to know how to create these engines, how to secure them, etc. I'll close this live by just shutting this down. I know this was going to shut down, I think around after 3 hours, but because this video is anyway ending, so I'll just shut down. I'll click the shutdown button. For some reason, it's not refreshing automatically, so I'll have to reload. So if you see, the status is still, it says the instance is being stopped. And if you see here, my instance, as soon as it is stopped, should give me, or maybe I'll have to exit first, who knows. It's still shutting down, which is funny. Okay, I could have clicked refresh here. There is, and let's click on billing, by the way. Oh, I don't want to show that. So instance is shut down. If I click that, try to connect again from my laptop, see, external address was not found. Defaulting to using IAM tunneling. It's trying to connect, but I hope it won't start it up automatically. No, it's not. Right, so it's not able to connect because obviously the VM is down. You know what? I'll just keep it as it is, because next time I could just now log in and start and resume, which is perfect. Okay, these are all the things I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe to this channel. I'll talk to you next time.